Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you're notified when I upload, which will be on Mondays. Today I'm going to be sharing with you some healthy holiday snack treat ideas, and these are all super simple to make, as all of these treats, snacks, I don't know, call them whatever you want, but basically all of these recipes, they contain minimal ingredients and they're super simple to make. Some require some cooking time, but in terms of preparation, they're pretty easy to make and you don't have to shop for a bunch of fancy ingredients, which is cool. So they're convenient as well, and just some nice little snacks to have on hand during the holidays. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so this first recipe is for these protein Christmas balls, is what I'm calling these. So in a bowl, I'm adding in 1 cup of cacao powder, half a cup of peanut butter, 3 tablespoons of honey, and 2/3 of a cup of milk. And we're going to stir this all around until the cacao powder is basically all incorporated, as you don't want huge lumps of it. And if it's a little too runny, that's alright, because we're then going to cover the bowl with some Glad wrap, or like I am, a beeswax wrap, and place it in the fridge for about 30 minutes to chill and harden a little bit. Then in a bowl, you're going to add some desiccated coconut. I'm adding 1/4 cup to start with, but you can always add more if you need to. Then we're going to grab tiny portions of the chocolate mixture with our hands, roll them into a ball, coat them in the coconut, define the shape as necessary, and then set them aside. I just put them on some paper towel and just repeat that until you've used up all the chocolate mixture. This should make about 12 to 16 balls, and this may get a bit sticky, I'm warning you now, so maybe use gloves or something. But once you can top these with some crushed nuts if you like. Otherwise, they're ready to eat. These protein Christmas balls. They're so delicious and so simple to make, as they don't require any sort of cooking in the oven or anything like that. Only a few ingredients, but yet so flavorful, with the richness of the cacao and the nuttiness of the peanut butter and a hint of coconut. Just helps bring it all together. And it's a perfect way to start off the holiday season. This next recipe is for these apple rose pastries. So the first thing we're going to do is take a sheet of frozen puff pastry and just leave it aside to let it thaw. Then in a small bowl, we're going to add a tablespoon of apricot jam and a teaspoon of water. Place that in the microwave for 20 seconds before then stirring the mixture together to help it combine, and we'll just set that aside. Then in a bowl, and make sure that you have a bowl big enough to do this, we're going to add 2 cups of water, and then we're going to juice half a lemon into that bowl, and then we're going to preheat our oven to 180 degrees. And then we'll set the bowl of water aside and start cutting up some apples. So I'm taking 2 pink lady apples, but you can use whatever kind of red apples you want. We're going to cut them in half and then do our best to core them. Still working on my technique, but I am getting better. And then we're going to cut the apples into thin slices. Try to make them about 2 millimeters thick. As you can see, mine are way thicker than that, but just do your best. Then we're going to place the apple slices into the bowl of lemon water and put them in the microwave for 3 minutes. And while that's happening, flour a surface like a cutting board, and we're going to prepare our pastry and be way more careful than I was when removing it from the little bit of plastic. As you can see, it cracked quite a bit, which is not what we want, but we basically want to cut the pastry into 6 lengths. Try to make them as evenly as you can. Then with a pastry brush, we're going to brush on the apricot jam and water mixture onto the pastry, then assemble the apple slices along the long edges of the pastry strips, and then we're going to roll these up, starting from the short side. And see, this is why it's important to have thin slices of apples, because otherwise it's going to be very hard to roll up the pastry and it's going to fall apart, but I'm doing my best. I'm going to place these in a muffin tin and into the oven to bake for about 30 to 35 minutes, or until golden brown, but not so much that the apple's like burnt and charred. But then once that's done, there you have it. These apple rose pastries. They're so delicious, and if you make these right, these can actually look really pretty. Mine don't look that pretty, but they're still delicious, which I think is the most important factor when it comes to making food. They're just a cute little snack to have on hand at this time of the year. Now I'm going to show you how to make these deconstructed egg yolk meringue bites is what I'm calling these. This was sort of an experimental recipe that was pretty much a fail because I wanted to see what would happen if I tried to make meringues with egg yolks, and you can't really do that because otherwise they're not meringues. But I still wanted to share this recipe in case it interested you. So what we're doing is preheating our oven to 90 degrees, lining an oven tray with some baking paper, and then in a bowl I'm adding in 1 egg, and we're just going to whisk that. Now, I don't have an electric mixer, and this would be much more desirable if you did have one, because then you might get a better result, but I don't have one. But what I'm doing is just whisking the egg until bubbles start to form, and then we're going to squeeze in the juice of half of a lemon, give that a whisk, and then take 1/4 cup of stevia. But with the stevia, we're going to add spoonfuls of it at a time, and then whisk until the stevia is incorporated into the egg mixture, and then add another spoonful of stevia, whisk that in until you've used up the whole 1/4 cup of stevia, and so then you're just going to keep whisking as best you can, and then very carefully pour it all out onto the baking paper on the oven tray, and then we're going to place that into the oven to bake for about 90 minutes. Then we're going to take it out and break it up a bit, and there you have it, these deconstructed egg yolk meringue bites, which are basically just oven-baked scrambled eggs with lemon juice and stevia. It's not exactly desirable on its own, so it's more appropriate to be like a dessert topper or something. If you like lemony and sweet eggs, then maybe this is for you, but you could add this mixture into like a cake or smoothie or pancakes. I don't know, if you're willing to try it out, do so and let me know how it goes. Now I'm going to show you this caramelish popcorn, as it's sort of like caramel popcorn, but not. You'll see what I mean. So this recipe could not be any easier. All we're doing is we're taking some microwave popcorn. It can be salted and buttered or just plain, up to you, but remove the packet from the wrapper and cook the popcorn according to the directions. On mine it said cook depending on the milliwatts of your microwave, which was 2 minutes for mine, or until after it started popping. There's more than a 3-second gap in between pops. So once it's done, we're going to take it out and let it cool for a bit before pouring it all into a large bowl. There's surprisingly more in there than you think. Now for our sort of caramelish coating, to a saucepan we're going to add 1/2 cup of olive oil, 3/4 cup of stevia, and 2 tablespoons of honey, and we're just going to place that on a low heat. Start stirring immediately so nothing sticks to the saucepan, and we're basically just going to make sure that everything's incorporated and that there's no huge clumps of stevia. And then once it's started bubbling and is turning into somewhat of a caramelly colour, just take it off the heat. You're not going to make a perfect caramel from this, let's be honest. But once you've got it ready, just pour it all over the popcorn, mix it all together, and then there you have it, this caramelish popcorn. It's still delicious, and it's a nice little coating for the popcorn. Plus, because it's not a full-on caramel, it won't stick to your teeth as much as regular caramel would, so I guess that's a plus. And you know, it's a nice perfect snack for watching a movie or a show. It's so delicious and so easy to make. And finally, this last recipe is for these oil cakes. I know you might be put off by these, but just trust the process, okay? So what we're doing is preheating our oven to 180 degrees. Then to a bowl, we're going to add in 1/4 cup of rice flour, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of bicarb soda. Then in another bowl, we're going to crack in 3 eggs, and then add 1/4 cup of olive oil, a teaspoon of vanilla essence, and 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. And we're going to give this all whisk just to combine everything. Then we're going to add the dry ingredients to the wet ingredients and just give it all a stir until everything is all mixed together. Then we're going to line a muffin tin with 6 cupcake wrappers and just do our best to evenly distribute the mixture into each of them. Now yes, this mixture is liquidy and runny, but that's the beauty of an oil cake, and turns out I actually needed a couple extra cupcake wrappers. And then we're going to place these in the oven to bake for about 20 to 25 minutes, but probably only do 20 minutes as mine ended up being a bit burnt. In the meantime, we're going to make our glaze, which is going to be our alternative to icing. So in a bowl, we're going to add in 1 cup of olive oil, 1/2 cup of maple syrup, and a teaspoon of vanilla essence. And we're just going to mix this all together. Now, I clearly overestimated how much I needed, as this is only 8 cupcakes. So if you're making this, try not to make quite as much. But what we're going to do with this is cover it and place this in the freezer for a little bit to set slightly. I only left it for about 30 minutes, which is not quite enough time. So maybe do an hour, but just be careful as you don't want the mixture to completely freeze. Then we're going to take our cakes out of the oven. As you can see, they burnt a bit. So as I said, only do 20 minutes in the oven. Once they've cooled a bit and the glaze has had time to slightly set, we're going to brush the cupcakes with the glaze. Make sure that they're nice and coated. And then there you have it, these oil cakes. These are interesting little treats, let's say. Not your typical cupcake, but still very yummy and somewhat healthier, I guess. I don't know. Let me know what you think of them if you try these out. So that is it for these healthy holiday snack ideas. I hope you all enjoyed this video. We'll try these out yourself. Maybe if you're hosting a holiday party, I hope that these go well with the guests. Or if you just want a nice little treat during the holiday season, hopefully you'll try some of these out and let me know how it goes. So let me know in the comments what other types of recipe videos you would like to see on this channel. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to give this video a like if you enjoyed and subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss any new videos. So, till next time, in my next video, I shall see you then. Goodbye.